too loud. Ow, my ears. Maybe I should have switched the song. Let me see if there's actually if there is a list for this. Yeah. Okay. Just gotta double check quickly that I'm listening to a track list of normal PlayStation 1 songs and not like remixes. Not that I hate the remixes, but just that I don't steal content. Okay, there we go. I saw the preview for half a second, and I was like, oh god, I forgot. Or I didn't check Final Fantasy. Oh, thankfully it works. Hello everybody. Do you like my room? Let me give you a little apartment tour here. We start. So that's my maid Beth. You have seen that from 2 of my videos. If you have seen the videos, and if you haven't, you should watch them. Let me actually check if the music's fine in the background, actually. Beth, you have seen that from... I can't even hear it. You should watch them. Oh yeah, it works. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's Beth. Here's my baths, 3 pieces of them. Here's my carbuncle table. Here's another carbuncle table. Here's my carbuncle bed. Here's my carbuncle slippers. Here's my carbuncle mat. Here's my carbuncle clock. Here's my carbuncle lamps. I have one more in my apartment, in my other house. But yeah. So today is very simple. Let me actually. I forgot to advertise the stream at all. So maybe I'll do that first. Is there actually no button for stream link on YouTube Studio? That is super dumb. No worries though. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. So, I think very first I want to do my job quests for my gatherers, because there's lots of gathering stuff which I haven't unlocked, which is, I think, fairly more important than the common stuff. So, for example, for miner, that's Fisher. Oh yeah, gather roll. Here we go. For miner, well, in gather roll you can see okay, these I have, but then actions. Luck of the Mountaineer is locked. Bountiful Yield is locked. So those are important for, it's the same for Botanist, it's just the different names. Luck of the Pioneer, Bountiful Oversoon. And no Fegus Titus, but I don't have the level for that yet. And then for Fisher, it's gonna be Gig, Patience, Mooch 2, Veteran Trade, Vital Side, Double Hook, Salvage, and Nature's Bounty. I really dislike the fact that for first like 5-6 job quests for gatherers, you get no job duties at all. Like you don't get any actions, so you think, oh, it's optional just for a story, and then you go check it out, and oh, never mind. But anyway, let's start with the botanist. That is definitely something I wanna like with an A for a ticket. Oh, look at that, aren't I bonita? Gotta say, I have now between this and last stream I have made 2 YouTube shorts released in 2 different days, and the result is that one of the shorts views was like one of the shorts got around 1,100 views, and the other short got roughly 400 dish. And I know it's shorts views, so it's not really that super impressive, but for me that's crazy. And the click-through rates were pretty decent as well, so watch time was pretty decent for both videos. For the first short it was around 70%, which is actually insane, and the second short it was 30%. Which is fairly good. I trust so. Okay, so Laurel leaves. These, I think. So one is probably gonna think out my days. Sorry guys, my brain is fried. Yeah, it's really fun having people watch your videos and stuff. It's cool. I used to make content for a long time and had absolutely nobody watch it, which I didn't really mind too much. Kinda minded a bit. I'm not gonna say I didn't care at all. Of course, you know, when you do hard work, you kinda want to get paid hardly back, right? But that's just the nature of things. But it feels nice to have people actually see the things you put in hard. It's all into. So yeah, our background music of choice today is relaxing PlayStation 1 music. The specific video is called Relaxing PlayStation 1 Music Revamped. I am not sure if I put this link on my chat that it will show in the replay. If it does, that'll be fantastic. That's the link. And if it doesn't, it's by Super Gamer. I was like, oh, someone commented, it's me, myself, and I. Fairly been a quiet couple of days. Didn't feel like streaming yesterday. Woke up a little early at 3 AM. I'm still thinking about considering the channel theme being about stars, and I really do appreciate when people fall asleep watching these streams and videos or whatever. That I probably want to actually wake up early. For my early 3 AM is like really decently late-ish US time, and since most of my viewer base comes from the US, I would imagine that would be a good time to stream there. It's just that the competition is rough. Food shop wears a pensive meme. Good evening, Arger. Forgive if my... Oh, it's a Lalafell female voice. What do we want to do for that? Okay, no, I'm just gonna be quiet like me. Oh, good evening, Arger. Forgive me if I've seemed a bit pensive. If you must know, the thought of that our harvests are contributing to the war effort has been weighing heavily on my heart. What I truly wish is to be an agent of peace, but what can a humble botanist do? In the meanwhile, another order has come in from Yanni, this time for zucchini in large quantities. No, I'm afraid our whole corn harvest simply will not suffice. Fortunately, they are set to grow wild and in abundance in Lanoskia region. I wonder ask if would ask you to travel to eastern Lanoskia and harvest 20 of the finest zucchini you can find in the area south of Rain Gutcher Gully. When you're through, bring them here to me. So East Lanoskia, if I remember correctly. Eastern Lanoskia. And something valley, right? Rain Gutcher Gully. You know, I think a lot of people find the idea of streaming for nobody really boring and scary. Boring part I understand. This scary part is weird to me. Most streamers that I know start off doing absolutely nothing, and when I used to stream ages ago, I streamed very well for like one viewer for a long time, even if then. In fact, they are delisted, but there are VODs on my channel which are delisted when I played Final Fantasy I, and there's I think 3 to 4 streams. I think 3 streams. In all together, spanning around hours, so like 15 hours total, 12 hours total. It was around a 4-hour stream, and nobody ever showed up to any of those streams, which sucked. But I did find out a lot about myself during those streams too. That's what I'm kind of trying to emulate here, with speaking a bit quietly, talking about like actual things. My friend said something worrying today, and I'm just hoping they're okay. You know, that's the... I used to be in a really bad relationship ages ago, and gotta say, one of the worst things, and this one is an extremely brutal take, I know, but being with a person, and that's why I'm really scared myself, but being with a person that is depressed is can be mentally really exhausting if you don't take the precautionary methods to deal with them. And one of those methods, I'm going to read this in a second, is that you should be straightforward and honest about how you feel with another person's sadness. Everybody has the right to be sad, but everybody has the right for peace of mind, to not be constantly harassed. And all I pray is that when I get bitchy, when I complain, when I feel bad, that my friends will be brave enough to say, hey, I care about you, but I can't right now. Like, I have stuff going on myself, or even if there's no stuff, sometimes you just get tired, you just say, hey, I can't listen to this, I'm tired. And it's gonna be brutal. That's... luckily, I haven't yet had to do that myself to another person. But I can imagine, from at least the both side perspective, that that's a brutal thing to say to someone. I can't deal with your problems right now. It's understandable. It's kind of brutal, but that I think long term, that's more healthier than starting to avoid a person because you feel bad that you can't help them. Another thing I try to do is rid myself the expectation of I should help somebody if they are depressed. Listening to someone when they're sad is a noble trait, and that's what I do, but I do not build myself the grand thoughts that what I will do to this person who is sad will help them by itself. right? And what I mean by that is, if I talk to a friend and they have depression and I notice that I'm not helping, I try to not think about it in a way that I'm failing this person. Rather, I try to think in a way of that, well, there's not much I can do. The sad reality is that when you are in a depressive state, like I am, like many of the people I know, you really can't get out of there unless you yourself do those measures, either go to therapy or something like that. If you don't yourself want that to happen, you're not gonna help anybody. And I remember being in this toxic relationship and constantly having to worry about someone killing themselves is it's mentally really exhausting. Ratatouille is a dish that holds a special place in my heart. It was the first recipe I learned. You see, thought to be my none other than Fufusha's own mother. My father was a traveling merchant and our family moved often when I was young. I had few friends until we moved to Gridania where I befriended Fufusha. Hours would I spend by her side as she rooted through her garden. After sunset we would go inside where her mother would whip up a ratatouille that truly warmed both body and soul. Ah, to relive those days. Wait a minute, I have an idea. Is a ratatouille a French peasant dish? This ratatouille is part to pursue the culinarian's past from such a young age. Do take a bowl of Fufusha. She will choose to pick her up her spirits. You didn't make some for me. I mean, to be fair, I don't think I would like ratatouille. But still, it's the thought that counts. There you go. Why this? It's my mother's ratatouille. I always knew Yanni loved this recipe, but I had no idea she had learned to reproduce such section. As this brings me back to old days. Yes, things were so much simpler then. Now the ratatouille that once warmed our hearts after hours spent frolicking in the garden serves to light a fire in the bellies of those who march off to war. Will things never again be as they were? Recent developments have Fusha feeling increasingly unsure of herself. Arger, I trust you, not only as a Buddhist, but as one who shares my dream of bringing peace to the forest that shelters it. I mean, to be fair, I have probably sold more cubic meters of wood than this city has in its entirety. And that's just me. So I don't know how much of a friend of a forest I might be, but you know what? Sure. The Order of the Twin Adders has commissioned from not them. From us mistletoe and siren quantities, you will for a camp dragonhead in the central. The curative properties of mistletoe make it a vital ingredient for many cells and medicines. I cannot help but fear that our guild has one been drawing into severing this fruitless war effort. Forgive me for being a hopeless idealist, Arger. Could you visit the Adder's Nest and inquire with Lieutenant Gavin as to the nature of his request? I will not refuse his order, you may assume. I assure him of that. I simply wish to know. That is a not so fun thought. That's because how do I explain this? Let's say you make medicine, and yeah, well, that's exactly what's happening here. You are providing a very necessary thing for your people, let's say it like that, your people, but then your people use it to enter a giant conflict. And since those people fighting it are not really the main cause of it, you have to go between the morality of helping the war effort, but helping the innocent people who are just stuck being a soldier, or not helping the war effort and trying to and kind of setting your thoughts of peace higher than the lives of your soldiers. I mean, I know it's not that black and white. Also, I did not read that at all. I should have some mistletoe in the market board. another one of these glue jars. There's one here, and there's one in... I don't remember it. Well, I will. Yeah, one in Limsa. My golden axe. Let's see if I still have mistletoe. One? Have I sold my mistletoe? Nope. Give me my mistletoe. Did I already have 2 million? I did not check. Oh, guys, I will take a quick second to get some coffee. Be right back. Oh, pardon my absence for this long. My dad is an alcoholic, so he tends to forget a lot of things, and one of those things he forgot is his own goddamn banking. So I had to help him with that, and I assure you, in roughly less than 5 minutes, he will come knocking to this door and ask me, do I want to go to the store with him? I know this because he asked me, hey, is today Monday? And I said, yeah, it's Monday. And he's like, good. And if you don't know, liquor stores aren't open on Sundays in Finland. That's the thing. Thank you, you have served the guild well once more. And so the unending cycle of bloodshed goes on, needless to say, by no fault of your own. I bear no ill will to Lieutenant Gavin or his people. On the contrary, I have naught but respect for his candor, not to mention his service to my homeland. That weighs heavy on my heart as a sentiment far more simple, almost childish. I simply cannot bear to see this forest I love suffer any longer. War is inevitable, this I understand, but by aiding the Alar effort we do not merely contribute to the suffering, we profit from it. No better than parasitic mistletoe. We suck the life out of trees that shelter us for our own personal good. A parasite. Is that what our once proud guild has been reduced to? How can I in good conscience permit this to go on? Forgive me, Arger. I will be alone in my thoughts for a while. Yeah. Fufusha of the Botanist Guild has reached a most difficult decision. Forgive me if I seemed a bit distant last time we spoke, Arger. Allow me to consider the point. I have not come to this decision easily, but I have to come to it. As of today, I have resigned from the Botanist Guild. Our battle with the Ishal rages on, and there are rumblings from the Empire as well. With each passing day, more people die, the soil is stained deeper with blood, and the Twelves Wood weeps. Meanwhile, I fill orders for the war effort, and for what purpose? That more Ishal may suffer and die than Gridanians? No, if this is what it means to be a botanist in this age, I want no more part of it. Yanni, may Nafika bless her dear heart, tried her best to convince me to stay. Still, I fear my heart is settled. Mind you, this decision is mine alone. I will pass no judgment on those who find meaning in their efforts here. Should you wish to continue to serve the guild, I am sure Yanni will have suitable tasks for you. Farewell, Arger, and may the 12th wood ever shelter you. Have something you want to say, but quickly go talk to Yanni first. Oh, Arger, I'm glad you're here. You spoke to Fufusha, yes? It absolutely breaks my heart to see what's become of my dear old friend. Fufusha and I have known each other since we were both knee-high to a Funguar. And I assure you, her knowledge and passion for the flora of this realm is second to none. The guild will be absolutely lost without her guidance. Of course I understand her worries. These are not easy times for a true seeker of peace and friend to nature. And yet I cannot help but feel that her emotions cloud her better judgment, that she is not seeing the forest for the trees, if you will. Fufusha has convinced herself that she is doing more harm than good to the natural world she so loves. Preposterous. Has she forgotten the countless trees she planted after calamity, journeying far and wide to return lush verdure to her shadow realm? Someone must remind her of all she's accomplished, and the work that is still left to be done. Did they end to have made a contract with one of the Fufusha's former apprentices, a botanist by the name of Roitaloin, who now tends to a forest that Fufusha herself led the planting of many years ago. My words as a friend will not reach Fufusha now. Only a fellow botanist who understands the depths of her worries can heal the wounds that in her heart. I beg of you, Arger, speak with this Roitaloin and seek his counsel. Roitaloin tends to the forest surrounding the Timber Lord's lodge in the central highlands of Quertas. Please go quickly. Once Fufusha leaves her guild behind, I feel she will never return. So yeah, having to deal with people that are addicted is the fucking worst. It is quite similar actually to dealing with people with depression, because in my head, a lot of depressed people are addicted to self-pity. It's understandable. I'm not saying this as a way how a right-winger might say, like, fucking straddle your bootstraps and just don't be sad way. I'm saying this in a way of, I understand why. If you are sad, if you feel like shit, you will... When I was sad, when I felt like shit, I absolutely needed that kind of self-pity, that kind of attention, if you will. And this doesn't go for absolutely everybody, obviously. But for me, still to this day, there is a certain feel-good feeling I get when I talk to my friends or something. What the hell is that? When I talk to my friends or something when I'm feeling really fucking bad. And that's not even necessarily a bad thing. Can we go there? But, I do tend to notice a lot of similarities between depression and addictions. We cannot go there. We can go below it. Oh, we can't even go below it. It's not cool. Yeah, dealing with a dad who has addictions, it's not the best time in the world. It's a lot of worrying. Maybe this time is the time that, you know, he drinks himself over. What if this time is the time that he does something really fucking bad drunk? What if he goes out, is so addicted to alcohol that he's gonna go drive and just to get more liquor, and he's still not like clear yet, so he's gonna get into a crash. Stuff like that really clouds my mind, at least. Anyway, hello, Roitaloin. Well met, Arger. Annie told me to expect you. I'm a Roitaloin. I am Roitaloin. Well, who says I am? Anyway, a humble botanist plying his trade in these bleak lands. Botany is not simply my livelihood. I consider it my true calling, a calling I will never have discovered were it not for Fufusha's guidance. Needless to say, I was devastated to hear news. All hope is not lost, however, as I hit upon an idea. Tell me, Arger, are you familiar with this spruce tree? I do not blame you if you are not. It's a rare sight these days. As Fufusha will tell it, in these years before the calamity, vast forests of spruce will stretch for moms and moms. What spruce trees you see today are the result of Fufusha's efforts to bring the flora of ages past back to Eorzea. Perhaps seeing that her work has borne fruits will convince her not to abandon her life so further. Knowing Fufusha as I do, the gesture will mean the most to her if spruce were hovered by the hand of an apprentice close to her heart. Your hand, Arger. Before you set off, be forewarned, spruce is still rare to these parts and not easily discerned. Only one with knowledge of the truth of forest could hope to identify such trees, and then only after straining the eyes from the break of the dawn. If your eyes are true, friend, you will come upon mature trees unlike any you've seen before. Harvest them for 3 spruce logs and bring them back to me. Yeah, it's 9 AM here, and right now it is 10:40 fucking one. Wait, no, that's it. Oh shit, I have 15 minutes. Let's see if I can get it in that time. Pretty sure, because it's like that tree there. Ooh, this is a tight squeeze. It's a floater. Oh frick, it was not that tree. I don't know why I'm saying frick. Try not to swear so much. That first short I made, I said fucking like 70 times. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was enough fuckings. Yeah, I made it in time. Easy. Give me my spruce, baby. Imagine you need to harvest like 25 or something. And especially in level 50 when this isn't even 100% yet. Oh man. Wait, this person. Okay. Let me just quickly. Okay, I'm gonna stop bothering this guy. Ouch. It's nice background music. Okay, after I return these spruce logs to Royceloin, I'm gonna quickly grab myself that coffee finally. Should you have difficulty locating spruce trees, remember, only one from knowledge of the fruit of the forest can see them. Only after waiting from dawn to sundown. If your eyes are true, friend, you will come upon mature trees like you've never seen before. Did you follow that auger? Very well. Gather free spruce and bring them back here. What? Remarkable gathering, Arthur. I see Fufushia strange well. I had a mind to deliver him to Fufushia straight away, but I just received some troubling news. You have heard that we in Corridors are locked in a war with the dragons, have you not? The recent dragon raid has left many soldiers and settlers without shelter. A carpenter in the area is doing all he can, constructing lumber is painfully short. I'm sure you could go. Okay. So you get the carpenter to deliver him some spruce logs that the people of Corridors need. Find the troubled carpenter. Oh yes, let me go fetch that coffee real quick. This time I'll be faster, I promise. Unless my dad's in the fucking living room waiting for me, then I might not be as fast. Apologies for that. Well, that wasn't fearfully too long, thankfully. Yeah. Let's go find that trouble carpenter. Now, apparently people are saying good morning here. Yes? On the off chance that you're either blind or stupid, I'm a busy man. Wow! Hi, I'm leaving. Busy doing what, you say? Searching for lumber, that's what. We've no end of these houses that need to be rebuilt after being smashed to bits by those damn dragons. Or haven't you noticed there's a war going on here? Not really. I think I ended that shit? Look, I don't mean to be rude, but I've got no time for chit-chat. Take a look around. These are inhospitable lands. Without shelter, people will die. Damn it all. Is there just a single sturdy log left in all of the highlands? Oh! Why this is? I've never seen wood like this. Where in the name of the 12 do you find this? Think that this lumber of this quality could be found in these lands. Why? I'll never forget this kindness, friend. Those trees will save lives. It's tree! Fucking... It's 3 pieces of spruce firewood. Who are we saving here? Who are we saving here? Mate. You bet I will, little missy. Speaking of which, whom do I have pleasure of missing? My name matters not. Wait, is she an Ashen? Wait, what? Wait, not Ashen, what the hell? Are they Ashens? No. Who are the... Damn it, brain. Is she Garlean? What is that in her on her forehead? Eh? Fusha, by the way, is her real name. That's crazy. Doesn't say anything about her being a Garlean. I don't know who you are, miss, but I'm glad we met. The true gods are truly watching over us today. Mate's gonna go walk back to the village like, oi lads, I got ourselves no lumber to build the house now. Get the fuck out of here. What is this? I can't even wipe my ass with this, like. What are you talking about? We'll build a house with these 3 pieces of firewood. Why am I hearing crickets? Damn, I didn't realize my joke was that bad. Also, it was on my phone. Alarm. When Yanni suggested I travel to Coertas, I had no slightest idea what she had in mind. The moment I had laid upon us the forest, I remembered. This was your intent, was it not, Arger? You, Yanni, and Roythline. Your gentle concern for my faltering heart is not lost on me, nor is the meaning of this forest. The trees themselves speak volumes. The seeds are in our botany, the love and reverence for the nature that we brought to Ishgard have taken root in these lands. In the lands and the pure hearts of the people are grown strong indeed. As strong as the majestic spruces that once more graced these snow-split highlands. I gotta put an image here to my group chat here. Spruces that will now provide shelter and comfort to those who have been ravaged by war. Like the Twelveswood, this forest has suffered greatly in its times of strife, and yet this forest has strength. A strength it has harbored since the time of since time immemorial, and one it shares with us, a strength that goes beyond logs we harvest or the herbs we gather. I must never forget the lessons I have learned here today. On the contrary, I must share what I have discovered here, the hope that might take root again in the hearts of countrymen. Let us return to Gridania, Arger. I suppose what is calling us home. I actually don't live in Gridania. I mean, I'm sure my passport says that city-state Gridania, but I don't live in Gridania. I have a house in the mist, and you know, and you know what? Whatever. Ah yes, I was speaking about alcoholism. So, my dad isn't the only one in my family who struggled with alcoholism, or still struggles, although I dare call her really family anymore, but my mom also, my whole life, was an alcoholic. Although not to the level of my dad, still in a pretty bad state, where she needed to be drunk every single weekend. There was no exceptions. And, my mom was horrible. She used to beat me and my sister a lot. I think my sister got the worst of it, but I would be unfair to myself if I said that it wasn't really bad to myself. Also, Vicky told me to kill her. Do you agree, Arger? Do you hear, Arger? Do you hear, Arger? The leaves whisper to us, welcome us at home. Think that I almost turned my back on them forever. The battle rages on, and the forest will not go unscathed. Gridania and Ishal are... Is it Ixal? Or Ishal? Or... You know what? Real quickly, how to pronounce Ixal? There is this video called The Lore Ishal Final Fantasy XIV, so I will just listen to the first time they say this person says Ixal.
Today, we'll be looking at a race of very aggressive bird people who used to call the Twelves Wood home, but were cast out roughly 550 years ago for rustling the elementals' jimmies. A tribe that used to dream of returning to
Come on, mate.
Temper tantrum at everyone. Today we'll be looking at a race that I really wish wore pants when I first saw them in their squatting pose. Today we'll be looking at the Ixal.
Ixal. Thank you, Rotgar. Is that your name, Rotgar?
Today we'll be...
Rigitar. Yes, let me quickly also link that here in the chat. Hopefully it stays. The chat replay. Bonk. Yep. Ixal. Sadness the powerless is at times too great to bear, and yet if I were to walk away, who will tend to the wounded forest in my stead? Your guild? There is only so much that a lone botanist can accomplish. You literally just said, if I leave, who will do anything? There's only so much I can do alone. What the f... And yet every seed that is planted, every tree that takes roots brings us one step closer to a future where we live in harmony with the forest. In my pain and frustration, my eyes had been blinded to this truth. Thanks to you, Yanni, and Roydloin, I see again. Hold up. Excuse me for them. Rest easy, Arger. I will remain here at the Growery. How could I not? The forest needs to every friend that it can muster in these dark times, and it would seem I have so much to learn. I will be honored to continue to walk the path of botanist with you, not as a guildmaster and apprentice, but as peers. Fellow shepherds of the forest, be you ever safe in your travels. By the way, if my stream breaks midway, it might be my father having a temper tantrum that I do not want to go to the store with him. To be fair, my dad couldn't do his banking, so I'd assume that he's not really fit to drive. Fufusha is beaming at you in a bit. I'm gonna do a spin real quick. Okay, what's up, Fufusha? It did you, Arthur. It does my spirit well to see you again. Inspired by your words, I have been reflecting upon the relationship between man and forest. I'd just like to hear your opinion on. Before I'm back, have you given any thought to my request? Oh, I beg your pardon. I didn't know you had a guest. Judging by your attire, I take your spot as well. I mean, I wouldn't judge you for my attire. Maybe the giant fucking axe on my back, though. I am sorry, but our situation is unchanged. I am afraid there are no botanists present who assist you with your song. I won't make a burn of myself, I promise. I just need them to answer a few questions in their spare time. What about this adventurer here? Who looks like a capable sort. Arger, well, he's certainly one of our best. I am? Me. First things first, allow me to introduce you to Mujich Mevrilach. Why do I say it in Russian accents? Reported for the Raven. She's planning a series of articles for which she requests our guild's cooperation. Specifically, she would like to follow the doings of a first-rate botanist for an indefinite period of time. Alas, none among us who meets her stringent requirements can afford to engage her at present. Unsafe for perhaps you, Arger. Oh, my salvation has come, and his name is Arger. Exciting adventures the botanist will he take me on? I wonder. As to that, we have received a petition for aid from faraway Ishgard. You will recall our dear friend and colleague Reutlein, who resides in the central highlands of Coetas. Well, a friend of his is struggling to raise crops in the Ishgardian frontier and begs us to send a botanist to aid him. The Ishgardian frontier? That sounds positively wild. I can picture the title, Foreign Botanist at the Fore Frontier. I've got a good feeling about this. I'll go ahead to Rodelon's place and ask him a few questions. She's still in wisdom's time. Assuming you are willing to take on this task and bear with Mujich, please pay Rodelon a visit yourself and have the particulars from him. I have no doubt that you will gain much from this experience. For good measure, here's a letter introduction, and in case you have forgotten, Rodelon can be found in Sky Fairlocks. Good luck to you, Arger. There is a bit of a ruckus coming from our living room, so I'm gonna go quickly check out if everything is okay. No need for worries. Be right back. Once again, pardon my leave. It's been quite a stream of leaving constantly. Might make it a bit annoying to watch from the VODs if anybody wants to do so. For that I apologize. Maybe might be something I could do. Maybe I could go back to my old VODs and give them a little chapters every time I forget to every time I PRE, right? That way VOD viewers can skip by it. Provided anybody watches them, but hey, maybe someone will. And if you are watching this, hello! I'm thinking just of you. I look so zesty doing that. I've been expecting you, Arger. Mistress Muji has told me everything, and rather more besides. Let me quickly sneeze. I meant cough. A letter of introduction. Give her proper resource for Fusha. She scarcely need one of her. Ow, my headache. She scarcely needs one of these to vouch for your skill, my friend. As you will have been informed, the petition comes not from me, but a friend. Basil is his name, and he's a botanist engaged in settling the Sea of Clouds. That is where your task will take you for an extended period of time. Some years ago, a house Halenart, established an outpost there, and they seek to make the place self-sufficient. To this end, my friend has been attempting to cultivate various crops. Alas, results have been mixed at best. That is where you come into the picture. Now, I should like to send you along to Basil at once, except Ishgard isn't coming of foreigners. Must find a way to circumvent the bureaucracy. Once again, I kind of went there and I kind of like dealt with the whole thing, you know, so it might be that they're okay with me personally and probably little Mujikin because I'm there, but you know what, whatever you say, buddy. You're a guest of House Portents, you say. Well then, your entry was not an issue. However, I have doubts whether Mistress Mujik will be able to accompany you. You needn't worry, I have a way of getting in place. I will get to Ishgard. See if I don't. That is, well, I think. Now then, Basil has returned to the Holy See to meet with you. If it suits, I shall let him know to look for you at Aether Plaza. At Aether Plaza. Got it. I'll see you there, Arger. Well, she's gonna just, she's just gonna, trespass into a different state. That's not a smart thing to do, in my opinion. Oh, lag. What took you so long? Your client's been waiting here for a better part of a battle. Curious how I got the next card. I shouldn't doubt. For now, let this suffice. If anyone asks, I'm your returner. I need to cough again. It's a pleasure to meet you, Arger, and your lively retainer as well. I'm Basil. Thank you for making the long way to Ishgard. Long journey to Ishgard, though we still have some ways to go to be sure. As I'm sure you've been told, I'm a botanist in Camp Cloudtrap. We're heavily reliant on supplies being brought in by airship, and I'm trying to change that. Unfortunately, my ventures into farming haven't yielded the results I'd hoped for, and so I teach out Reuteline. But then reached out to your guild. I'll be turning to your abundant knowledge and skilled hands both. In case you're wondering, I don't have any specific word for you yet. Today is a meeting greet, as it were, and I've got a specific first. I'll send a word by way of your trusty retainer. And a trusty retainer has never been. I shall convey all your messages without delay. I'll be much obliged, miss. Now then, I'd best be getting back at my work. I will look forward to seeing you again, most certainly at Camp. I am really misreading today. Camp Cloudtrap. I'll remain here in Ishgard and await word from Basile. Please come by whenever he spare spare mind for your busy schedule. I think I might have got a mild concussion. Oh fuck. Next button skill will be available. 53? Are you kidding me? Please don't be so. Hold up, I gotta quickly Google something. Quick check botanist job quests. 53, 55, 58, 60, 60, 63, 65, 68, 17. I am actually jumping. Speaking of which, I don't think I can actually even complete the higher level job quests here because I have not completed Stormlight. So perhaps we shall continue by doing the job quests of... Let's do Machinist. I have only one left. It's right here anyway. By the way, do I still have the wrong hat on? Nope. Very much the right hat. FFXIV. Blast. Thank you very much. That is a really necessary thing. You know what? I'm really feeling like Platypus of the Dead, so I'm gonna do it after this. Greetings, Sarger. Have you become practiced at defeating your foes from a distance? With the range of our weapons, even Skyborn dragons will learn to respect the threat posed by driven camps. To be fair, I'm pretty sure I can't even shoot you from here in this game, so I don't know what you're talking about, Stephanivian. Despite the proven efficacy of our... That's not a real word. Quick Google check. Efficacy. The ability to produce a desired or intended result. Of our cannons and ballistas, however, many knights of Ishgard continue to eschew farms in favor of the spear and the sword. Ah, the reeking chains of tradition. Hark! The very creaking I spoke of draws near. Draws near. Ugh, the sniffling heat and the stench. I can scarcely breathe, and always I can scarcely bear the sight of mine own son garbed in such filthy garments. I must be persistently infatuated with smithing of all things. Okay, I'm not gonna do the fucking voice. This is called machinistry, Platter, and you need to not come all in the air. You need to not come at all if the air in the workshop so offends you. Well, that I could shed this onerous duty, but as manufacturer chief, I must need supervisors of operations. Supervise, you barely visit but once a moon, or relegate every management task to front once. And what of it? Smithing is a commoner's profession, even as overseer is the relevant one. As one of the four founders of Ishgard, House Halienarte enjoys a privileged position, but the misfortunes was waged a constant war of attrition in our forces, and our claim that the position grows weak. Thus must we attend to our duties with uncommon zeal, even duties as common in this one. But we shall not suffer this mean predicament further. No, my son, you will reclaim the honor of your family with spear in hand. You must needs becoming a knight of skill nonpareil, and bear a flag on the field of battle. Father, the face of war changes with each passing day. Soon will come a war when machines shall from the bulk of your armies. Should you cling to these stagnant ideas of yours, you will be swept over by the wave that carries forward. I tires of your flights of fancy, Stephanivian. Without successes to back them, your arguments ring as empty as my treasure room. The Holy See has announced a tourney. You will best serve your house by returning to the practice field and then claiming victory in melee. Hey, just shoot them all. You know, if I was there, and this is definitely true, and I'm not making this up at all, I will just shot them, Stephanivian stat there. Yeah, see, they got more, buddy. I have, however, designed a weapon of such brilliance that the lights of its potential penetrate. Oh! And this is my Rostenthal and Joy will accompany me to Raincatcher's Gully to gather materials for both sides. Why don't you join us? Practicing marksmanship in Ishgard will only invite suspicion and ridicule. This is the perfect opportunity to receive further tutelage from Rostenthal. Rostenthal. that you might also train under the warm rays of Lanosian sun is simply for a choice. Boom. Boom. Thank you, Stephanie Bean. By the way, I just learned that a fun thing. I do really do despise AI in most ways. I do not like using AI for almost anything, except for help with coding. I do think AI works really well to help with coding, not to code, but to help with coding. I've seen some of the code; it's kind of shite. But I find it weird that some people really do not like thank the AI, which is weird. I don't know, like, I know the fucking AI doesn't know what appreciation is, but like, I find it really weird that people don't have like that, don't have that instilled to them. That when you ask something and someone, you know, does that, that you say thanks. Get yourself dragged out here as well, did you? The boss said he needed some magic part, and I just had opened the big gob about this Guardian wrecking here, this gully. It's been rust in the air for nigh 5 years though, so any useful bits and bobs will likely be stripped out long ago. But seeing as we've tracked all this bloody way, we might as well see how far you've come in your shooting. Go say hello to the other two and keep them safe while they concentrate on some scrounging. Speak with Stephanie Vian, and the enemy set up here. Ah, you came, splendid. Though I'm afraid the rewards have made. Oh, speaking of monsters. Yes, yes. Oh, you are fucking dead, buddy. Ah, boom! Speak with Joy and defeat enemies. Where is this Joy? There she. There she is. Right. Back to my ship audio. Maybe I'll have a moment's piece of it. Okay, this is what I'm taking right now. Fuck off, you dirty slag. Boom. Speak with Rosenthal. You've been working at those shots, haven't you, lad? I'd say you're good and ready to bloody hells. That's a big one. Here up, Arger. Again. Oh yeah, mate, you're finished. I'm finished. Aye, nice for mod. Tightly gripped shots. Now, was it just me eyes playing tricks, or did someone other than the guts drop out of that thing's bed? Oh, looks like a bit of machinery. The boss will have a better idea than me. And Magitech Gyroscope 41, Stephanie Vian. I swear to God, if I talk to Stephanie Vian now and give him the thing, I'm like, oh my God, there's an enemy attacking us again! Confound it. It's all the way and not to show for it, aside from your obvious improvements in marksmanship, of course. What's have you there? Here you go, buddy. Several metal rings hinge together to spin and rotate independently of one another. What this fantastic creation could be used beyond. So it's a gyroscope? Or it's like they're floating. That's interesting. This build out along with this creature's energy say extraordinary. If it is a gyroscope, are they gonna like make a gun that auto aims? Because you can do that with a gyroscope. Because you can get all like specific measurements of everything. Right. Is the gyroscope the one that detects or the one that balances? I think gyroscope was the one that detects. That's wonderful, me lordship. Our fortunes took a turn for the better the moment you walk through the workshop doors, Erger. One much that can be spelly and fortune, that's bloody sorcery. Also, I'd think if I didn't see a damn shoot the damn thing with my own 2 eyes. Nice work there, by the way, Archie. I can already hear the whirring of my invention come to life. We must return to manufacture at once. I mean, theoretically, if you have a gyroscope in a gun... Oh yeah, it is a gyroscope, I'm fucking stupid. Theoretically, if you have a gyroscope in a gun, you could just make, like, the barrel independently move from the body, and to a certain degree, you could kind of aim the gun for the person in very small degrees. I would assume, since blowback would be really bad for any motors inside of a gun barrel. We actually do have kind of technology like that, but with bullets, where they have the bullets kind of go mid-air. But one will tend to think that some bullets flying in air are much harder to control than the goddamn barrel of the gun, but hey, that's just me. I don't think, when it comes to... I don't think, like... Okay, let me my brain fart for a second. I don't think, when it comes to, like, shooting guns, that you can get an auto-aiming weapon as fast as you can get a weapon that's a really good marksman can shoot from such a long far away and does, like, most precise micro adjustments to that person's aim to account for wind, to account for different weather conditions. And that's something a human probably, with really good experience, probably can replicate. But like, what? Did I talk to someone here? Huh? What was that? That's probably something a human with real experience probably can replicate to a certain degree, but much easier for a computer to do. That's truly was a spoke block Arger. With the wretched gyroscope in hand, will be only time at working prototype. Instead of filling your thumbs on its completion, you shall have your hands full on mastering a new skill. Versatile bait me pass into particular heat blast. Train hard, my friend. I still have one more quest, I think. This one gives me rock auditors. Stephanie even seems excited to share something with you. Ah, Arger, splendid. You've arrived at that very hour I completed my newest machinist runner. Well, show me what's up. Instead of not knocking me down to this dreadful order, Stephanie V and my son, the days of shunning your nightly dating have come to an end. Never should I have allowed you to test us on this bloody workshop, had I but known that the curiosity you displayed as a boy will develop into all this consuming distraction. Yes, we know you're just 8-4. Nay, Stephanie, there's more. How's Zimael Car's call to arms, and how's Aliante is bound to answer? And you know how our companies are light on lances. If we are avoid dishonoring them, every able showed up, mine son included, must take up spear and sword and march to battle. I have not the disposition for charging into enemy ranks, father. I did not raise a coward. Consider your next word carefully, boy. As manufacturer chief, I will have authority to expel anyone from this workshop. Honor, parchment me out, there's only one chief we answer to. I understand that our ranks have been growing thin. Thus is our house in dire need of support, my show's plane. Challenge the might, dragons with spears and sword is the work of heroes. Warrior possessed by a violently 7 or physique. Equipped with a firearm, however, the scrawniest commander could engage those same scale demons from afar. Think of it, father. If the masses were trained in the machinist profession, the casualty of fang and claw will be consummately diminished. Machinist companies will soon form the backbone of our defense, and as the master of infection, the acolytes will belong to us to call us familiarity. Train the masses. Foolish boy. No low-born army can ever replace a contingent of disciplined knights. It is time, my lord. Swara is expected to send on our defense with the tower. Swara, you mean initiate the great bull with naught but our knights? What would you have me do? The dragon flies straight as an arrow for our very own firelocks. Sure, we let them destroy, and the price will be steep in both coin and honor. Father, you must allow me to display my machinists. Once you have witnessed them in battle, even you will give goodness. Do as you will, Stephanie Meehan. As matters stand, I will not turn away a lame chocoboy with other defender holdings. Be certain to assemble your forces to Locke's ears, Swara arrives. I like the fact that, like, you know what? I think we have the... Oh. I think we're pretty good because, we have, guns and we can give them thumbs. Hey. Stephanie Venus was murdered by Rosnell Sosatans. Well, Arger, we are as ready as emergency. All except for a wayward instructor. Would you be so kind as to locust first install inform of the urgent situation? I mean, she's loitering the foundations of Mark Megas on her way to the workshop. So, while it is true that almost anybody can fire a weapon, it is not true that almost anybody can be a soldier. In some sense, I would imagine that a weak peasant during these times, due to the reasons of famish. What's that word for? What's the word for famine? A famined peasant, starving peasant who is probably not that muscled, couldn't really just pick up a gun and become a model soldier. I mean, it's probably crazy for me to say, but yeah. But still, anybody technically can pick up a weapon and shoot it and kill people. That's why guns are scary. That's why we have so many tragedies. Ah, look at this crab I caught creeping about the workshop. No bloody good, I reckoned. So I sat down for a friendly chat. A dragon attack and the Watson is every on all deck, does he? I'll be there just as soon as I'm bringing some answer for this ugly sod. It's you know where there's one rat, there's always a dozen more. It might be best if you took a quick look around yourself and deal with any troublemakers before you head back. No need to murder anyone minded. The noise from a slug shot ought to scare him off. I'm pretty sure that you don't really have the choice to miss in this game, so I'm pretty much just shooting them. I mean, assuming slug shots means slug rounds, they are gonna fucking die. Wait, cunt. Leave. Oh, 1-7 health. You could have taken... So, exactly. You're this new pup, aren't you? This is trouble you're looking for, then looking for the backstab will let this occur. I don't think they were scared. Oh, they were. Never mind. Yeah, those four that aren't really that in the know with guns, slug rounds or shotgun rounds. Now I'm gonna double check myself before I say something stupid, but I believe slug shells are a... Yes, slug shells are... Okay, so let's go over the basics of a shotgun shell. A shotgun shell fires... Normally, a normal shotgun shell, like a birdshot, fires many pellets into the air, and the idea is to use it for hunting or close quarters combat because it's really hard to miss when it goes like it's easy to miss somewhat, but point being that you don't need to be as stupidly precise with it as you need to be with another gun that shoots only one projectile. But a slug is, in a shell, just one giant hunking piece of metal or something else, whatever the slug is made out of. Therefore, it takes all the power of a shotgun and puts it in one projectile. That's why I'm always wondering about like beanbag shots or whatever they call, which they use in riot control, because I don't think, do they have like lessened amount of gunpowder? Because those motherfucking things will hurt. Beanbag rounds. Okay, it goes around only 70 to 90 meters per second. Square 6 centimeters of the target. It is designed to deliver a blow that will cause a minimal long-term trauma and no penetration will... Okay, yeah. So that will roughly be at the speed of a BB, but dispersed. Wait. 70 to 90 meters a second, and a... Let me quickly check some airsoft online stores. Like a... Like this Elite Force Hater. They shoot at 109 meters per second. So they would technically have more power in one projectile on an airsoft gun than on. I mean, sure, okay. Let's be fair here. There's no more energy on that one BB because the one BB weighs 0.7 or something grams, and that one beanbag shot weighs considerably more. Therefore, probably the impact has more energy then. Or as some people say, stopping power, even though that's apparently not a real thing. How uncouth, but I suppose I should explain laws from one of the Rosenstall's underlings. You learned it from the vision brute himself. Heed my words, the scouts in my fixed place, haven to villains. For the safety of each class citizen, manufacturer must be stairs down. The arrogant instructor poses the former commodore of the Knights of the Barracuda. This is a lie. In truth, he's a bloody, thirsty pirate who murdered his entire crew. Should be as it may, he's pretty good at shooting. Here on hard times. So, yeah. Once again, I'd like to make my stance very clear. Although I do love the mechanics of guns, and I do love guns as an aesthetic in some... I do like guns as an aesthetic too. I do not enjoy weapons in the sense of killing people. I think killing another person is an extremely serious offense and should not be taken in as extremely necessary, which is almost never. In fact, in my opinion, death penalties are just fucking stupid. There are a couple of reasons why. First of all, why is it that every time we develop new methods of causing death to somebody, do we say the older way of execution is a inhumane way? Why is it that a bullet to the brain is less humane than a lethal injection, though a lethal injection is so much more painful, from at least what I've heard? Maybe the inhumane part isn't the way of execution, it is execution itself. Especially in countries like the US, where the prison system is so goddamn horrible, isn't it torture itself to live a lifetime there? God knows you have the space for it anyway. You ain't going nowhere. God damn it. Oh. You ain't seen the last of me. Methanks to names. Methanks. Names like one of your fellow machines. If you didn't know, I was probation for a fight with Spar when that Tug ambushed me. Don't bother chasing him. I doubt he knows more than what he paid to do. But he did make damn clear someone has a grudge out of a bark shrub. Anyway, I ought to get back to me duties. We ain't never fought in a proper battle, let alone against a monster like Swara, and we'll need all the advantage we can get. They seem to be speaking in some sort of accent. With like me saying like me and not pronouncing the D in and. But yeah, I don't think death penalties are humane at all in any way. And I only think it's okay to kill someone when you don't really have another choice. For self-defense, for example. But like in the Finnish law, I do believe in the least lethal way possible, basically. So if you don't know, in Finnish self-defense law and in Finnish self-defense law and in Finnish security laws and bouncer laws, I think those are called bouncer laws, there is this idea of the path of least, I just said the word and I forgot it already. The path of least, what's the word for, another word for hurt? The path of least casualty. So the idea is that the least amount you can injure somebody, the less amount you can injure somebody, hurt them, hurt their possessions, hurt anything, that's what you should do to de-escalate a situation. So what that means in essence is basically some guy's harassing someone else and you are a bouncer. You would go in between and you would say, hey, you gotta stop that and you gotta leave. You, in no point are you allowed to be like, up, smack the back of his head and let him fucking die on the floor. If you believe there's a situation where, but if you believe the situation calls for it, even before it is show, if you have reasonable suspicion that a person might do a aggravated move against you and engage in violence, then you are allowed to try to negate that beforehand. And especially when we talk about like drunk people or people that are high, very high in some particular drugs, you will consider, like, for example, let's say I'm a drunk guy and this here Herbert, I'm like, hey, look at my gun, man, isn't that cool gun I'm waving here? If I was a guard, I wouldn't go like, hey, drop down that weapon. But if he's like wiggling his gun like this in the air, like this, he has a gun like this in the air, and I, for some reason, think it's a smart idea to engage a person with a gun, I will probably grab my baton and bash the shit out of that fucking gun hand. Maybe. That's one of the ways. I believe that might be a questionable move, but I believe injuring the shooting harm at this point could be, at least I'll try to defend that in lawsuits. That was a measurable, that was a, what's the word, path of least injury when it comes to making sure that Hereward here doesn't get hurt and I don't get hurt. There was I remember when I was in security school, there was a question, I don't remember if it was from a teacher or if it was in a classroom from a friend or something, classmate or something, but someone asked, what do you do if someone comes into a, let's say you were in a bar or in a bank, someone comes in and waves a gun around and says, everybody get down on the ground. People started muttering and I immediately go, yeah, I'm getting the fuck down. So, even as a security guard, you should always, even as a security guard, when you're, so, first of all, there's two different distinctions of quote-unquote security guard we have in Finland. One, which we call järjestyksen valvoja, or a, oh look at that, there's a person here, let me wave to them. Okay. One which we call a keeper of peace, a keeper of order keeper, and one we call a security guard. Security guards are trained in keeping, security guards are tasked and trained with keeping belongings and items safe, or in certain situations being a bodyguard. And while keepers of order keepers, is this Persona music? It is, Persona 2. And keepers of peace are tasked with, keepers of order tasked with, well, go ahead, guess, keeping order, and what that means, essentially, is making sure that nobody gets hurt, there won't be a rouse, there won't be a fight, and establishing rules of a particular place. And so, where was I going with this beforehand? But yeah, even as a security guard, even though your job is to protect property, your job as a citizen of Finland comes first, and that's making sure that nobody dies. And at that moment, if someone wears a gun, and I believe that if I listen to them, and if I follow their instructions, they wouldn't kill anybody or hurt anybody, I will just do what they say. I don't care. I'm not risking my own life for some stupid glory, and I'm not risking my life for fucking bank's property. I'm only risking my life for another life. But that's behind me anyway. I don't think I'll be a security guard ever. Yeah. But then we get cases like... But then... Okay, so... One thing to know about Finland is a security guard is a trained profession. You don't necessarily need to do a full-on trade for it. A 2 to 3 weeks course is enough, but it's also important to know that you can lose your security guard card very easily. One mistake will do it. If you get a mistake and you get you get sued. For the remaining of the time where you are in a process of legal process, you're not allowed to have your security guard card. You don't get paid, basically. You get very easily lost. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure, I think, that either the government or the security guards union pays for your gives you your pay while you're getting that stuff checked out. So it's not like anybody can necessarily try to abuse that. But yeah, it's very easy to lose your license if you misbehave. At least I would want to believe so. There are some cases in the news that which are pretty fucking horrifying, and it's always important to remember there is kind of a bias in every single news article. And for example, there was this one lady in Finland that got stopped by 4 different security guards, right? And we went through this, talked about this in school. That lady died, by the way. She got a, like, what's the word? Wait, did she die? I can't remember. I think she died. She got not a heart attack, some sort of medical emergency. And so, in security school, we had this talk about that type of thing, and in essence, if you believe a person tries to harm you or themselves, you could get more security guards. And 4 is usually the max. Order keepers or security guards, 4 is usually max, 1 for each limb to make sure they don't, you know, try to smack the guard with it, or smack their own hands and break them, or like do something stupid. Might have been a little extreme for like a middle-aged woman, though, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure. I will never be 100% sure. But there's a lot of cases like that where the people don't really lose their jobs for them. I think that got... I am not sure if that law... I'm pretty sure the lawsuit has went. I don't remember how it went. But I do know that one of the security guards killed themselves. And that's kind of unfortunate. Depending on the way it goes. Either way, it is kind of unfortunate that someone had to kill themselves. That was not because of... I'm pretty sure that's not because of guilt, and that's more of a media backlash. That's what happens, you know. Where the fuck was I going with this speech? Yeah, so that... I was saying that maybe it isn't that extremely easy to lose the card, but still, in essence, it's hard to lose. It's easy to lose your license. Anyway, Stephanie, what's up? Is everything alright? Rosenthal tells me there are villains afoot making trouble in the workshop. Intimidating machines, were they? Setting fires and spreading rumors? Joy, too, has overheard vile slander and failed to defame our master of markships. We took every case to choose the right employee, my lordship. We could do a lot worse than the former coveter of Lamian's Barracudas. And now half of Ishgard thinks he's lying, that he's a convict of terrible crimes. There's someone seek to harm the manufacturer standing with these attacks upon our restorator's character. I am Ron's Rosenthal. Your associated with machines have brought you not but ridicule and insult. Bah, don't blame yourself, boss. After all, more and all, the staff is probably too. I was the commander of the Kudus, right up till I got kicked out in the arse for making a bloody mess of things. That's why you found me in Cap Overlook. I was there to visit all my own legs. Course I'd rather take another axe to the face for it. Oh, he would! What the fuck? No, I gotta make a screenshot of that for my group. Of course, he would rather take another axe to the face for it than talk to me. Mistakes cost more than actions, and there's no bastard in Lanoskas as to call me friend. The Mysterious Rebel must learn only travel this past, cause they have offered a fortune for me to accept the job as EMR of marksmanship. I suppose they thought the workshop would be ruined once the truth about my charm and reputation become common knowledge. But as it turns out, I don't take kindly to being someone's faceless bastard's puppet, so I took their coin and ears and made for the ills. I had no intention of fulfilling the contract until Irvincher went and got me fired up about teaching and truth. Oh my fucking days, that is such a thick accent. That said, there ain't a note in the agreement that says I gotta fight the bleeding dragons, and me students better give me a showing without me growling over their shoulders any road. Though his support will miss, Rosenstahl in may have corrected his assumption. Our demonstration will be more impressive for his absence. Let's check our weapons one last time. Assemble a scar. Fuck your demonstrate. That's a bullshit thing to think about, Mr. Machinist. That's a bullshit thing to think about. I don't agree with that. That's bullshit. If you say, oh, I don't want one of our best marksmen here because I want to make a better impression, that's fucked up. First of all, you're not backing your own. You gotta always back your own. Well, not always. There are cases when you don't gotta back your own, and they're bad people, actually. And second of all, don't you want to save more people? Wouldn't a better one more person, wouldn't a really skilled person that could also has leadership experience be really goddamn helpful here? What a wanker. I'm sure I'm thinking this way too through. Anyway, duty time. Yeah, let's shoot some goddamn rat bastards. Allow me to brief you on our defensive strategy here. The dragon and its minions arrive. I did not check that. You will find a lock in the northeast. That's a lock? Do I get to shoot that thing? I locked the door first. Please tell me I get to shoot those things. And let me guess, a lock to the southwest. Oh, south. So it's northeast, northwest, south, or something like that. But yes, three cans. The dragons are come. Everybody to your positions. Oh, I don't get to shoot him. Lame. Argo to southern cannon. Alrighty. You choose the wrong day to mess with me, love. Death. Oh, that did jack shit damage with that. Stephanie, how about you do something, you fucking twat? By the way, I have E-Blast now, so I can actually use this. Oh, I also have... Here we go. Oh, that's the wrong button. Hell yeah. That was definitely not optimal. That was also very much not optimal. Yes, I know it can sustain more damage. And my E gets the battery gauge too. Oh fuck, run! Damn it! Oh damn it! No 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 no! Yeah. Please don't tell me to lose condition. Okay, it's not lose condition. Good, 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 good. As far I'm just in time for my rook out of turret. Could you imagine one time I just come into the stream and I'm like, oh fuck, my dad died. That'd be pretty Sigma. Obviously I'm joking, but one tends to make uncomfortable jokes a way of, what's the word? Coping. Hey, look at that, I got one view. 14 seconds a month came to you. Thank you, the guy who came for 14 seconds. Or gal. Or none. Well, father, do you now see how we prevail against strikes without risking lives of their soldiers? It was most impressive desire was the commoners acquired themselves admirably. I thought I heard the burden of cannon being fired, and now with I haste, and now here to find but high-born Alhalaners frolicking in the snow with their low-born lackeys. What a smug prick! Oh, god damn, does he have a punchable face? After providing you with the opportunity to improve your ailing reputation, your most, does the consideration how does the mail not a formal reply? Lord Tidal Greenshade, my apologies. The foe was upon us ere we killed department. Yes, I imagine you full occupied with scraping together a serviceable company of soldiers. If only your dear son was an ardent with his knightly training as he is with his idle tinkering. Hell yeah. There is not idle in my work. He will not speak such insult had you seen my machinist in action. Oh, such temper, told to seem your association with commoners as eroded your manners as well as your martial skills. If yours are confidence, but she's mayhap you should enter him in the upcoming journey. May shall I sell? Upon my oath, will turn Ishka's tradition-bound combat upon its ear. Hell yeah! Do I get to fight in that? If I get to fight in that tourney, I am doing machinist. Right, I'm not even going to Palace of the Dead. I will spam dungeons. When your low-row rebel is chopped to pieces by tested blade noble champions. My son, what have you done? The tourney is a stage upon which is flaunted the might and metal of our four great houses. Only the finest knights are chosen to participate. Even with the aid of my machinists, our battered ranks stand little chance of victory. Must we now parade our shame before the highest echelons of the Holy See? Do not be so swift to dismiss such chances, father. I give you my word. House Halianarte will leave the contest with its pride intact. And furthermore, should we win, I will have your word that you shall yield to the running of manufacturing to me. Well, you're my stubborn boy, and whether you win or no, you'll be sure to give Houdsman like damn good pummeling. I shall stay down to it, father. Will not disappoint you. I think it's true. I think the next one will be that I'm gonna go fight for them. I think that by the virtue of your undeveloped expertise, my father has at last recognized the value of machinery. But we cannot stop at one hearted knight. The journey will be our opportunity to demonstrate to all discerning potential of oppression. It seems Lord Chikanshu has a dislike for commoners such as me. I mean, Percival's calling me, so maybe I should quit the manufacturing. Pay no mind to that. Oh fuck, it's versatile. Pay no mind to that. Is fucking ES is all piss and win. Ever has the old green shaded thoughts and needle me in such manner. 'Tis not you, my dear, that he despises. 'Tis the mingling of highborn and lowborn. House Zemail is a powerful family, and their talent for the building of fortifications have brought them vast wealth and influence. Staunch allies of House Durinair, the Zemails have also been a party to a number of significant victories. Thus did they stand at the peak of Ishgardian society, looking down their nose at any who do not share their quote-unquote noble pedigree. If you truly wish to please me, then I will have you shine your brightest in eternity and wipe that arrogant smirk from his face. Shall we be on our way? Is that it? Do we get to fight now? Or did the quest end here? Damn it! Okay. It's 45. It won't be that many fucking dungeons. Right? I think so. I wanna shoot some rich people. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah! Bang him right in the face. Pause. Also, I love that, like, you know, dancer does a little dance, the barder does like whenever the spell is in, and the fucking machinist just humps the air. I must confess my misgivings to Arger. I'm quite near to a chance of victory. My persuader returned an unfavorable result. Triumph of a dragon is this true, but such a battle has not prepared us to coordinate parties of season 9. My machines are simply not ready. It is fortunate then that the journey is yet some away. Let us keep such disheartening talk from our college and continue to train them and ourselves for the contest ahead. I don't think it's gonna be next quest though. This is quest 50. But alas, I don't give a shit. Let's get into it. I have not done my daily leveling, which is weird. I'm pretty sure I did it yesterday, but I assume I probably did it with well, did it with Wiki. It was before Zero Web. 10 minutes average wait time. Jesus, it's sure dead here. Does that mean I haven't done my jumbo cacpot yet? Let's go do that. I am getting a alarm. You know, it's been really nice to have a... Oop, there is a gate. Cliffhanger for 4 minutes 50 seconds. Gotta go fast. It's been surprisingly nice to not have phone connection because I don't get stressed over phone calls anymore because I just don't get phone calls. I've been stressed over the fact that I don't get phone calls, but I haven't been stressed about the fact that I get phone calls. And I don't mean like stressed in a way like I am scared that I'm scared of being in a call. I'm just always a little worried that I'll miss a phone call, you know? I don't find being on a phone call that bad. I mean, sure, my social workers are... bless their hearts, they kind of talk for a long time. Guess I'm no better. I should have seen the last meeting we had. It was like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're gonna get you a doctor's visit. We're gonna get you a doctor's visit. And they said that 45 times, like, yeah, remember, doctor's visit. I think I'd remember that. Be honest. Right. No. Left. No. Down. Damn it. No. Up. I was right for the first time. Ugh. AC small. Me too, buddy. Me too. Let's get it. That's bad. That's worse. Okay, we have our winning one here. Oh, so close, so close, so close, so close, so close. Okay, I'm feeling next one, next one, next one, next one has to be it. Next one has to be it. 6, 4, oh no, 7. Nothing can be it. 4 plus 8 plus 7. 7 plus 8, that's 3 needed for that, so you take 5, 15, 15, 19. What's 19? Give me 36. Okay, 10. And it's a bottom heavy one, so it's basically how I usually do mini cacpots is I look at the ones that I have a chance to do. If there's a chance for a 1, 2, 3, obviously I will take it. But if there is like 4, 6 here, or 8, 6, or 7, 8, yeah, like 8, 6 or 4, 6, I will think in my head what's the highest chance of getting this, and think of the range afterwards. So for 8, 6, and we know it's bottom heavy because we can have 1, 2, or 3, or a 5. I know there's a 9. And so in a scale of 1 to 9, your average number will be 4.5. And this is not technically right, but I will consider every number above under 4.5 as a 0.5 reduction, and every available number above 4.5 as a 0.5 increase. So in this sense, since we have 8, all the way around, since this in here, above the number 4.5, we have 3 numbers, I think it will be 1.5, I think it would be, the average number of these hidden ones should be free. Just free. And if we give a little range that free, we know that this averages out to be 13 here. We know this 100% to be the 16, right? Was it 16? 8, 7, 3, 5. It's over 5, 9. We know it's 36. So 8 plus 6 being 14 has here, add 3 to that, and 17 looks kind of promising. 4 plus 6, 10. 13 doesn't look good. And if you have two vacant numbers, you would add those averages together. So it's a 5. So an 8 plus 5 would be, and 12. Oh, 8. 7 plus 5 would be 12. Oh, 8. Nope, so that would be 13 here. So my chances are 108, 72, or 108, 72. Sorry, 72, 54, because we have 4 now. 4 left over. Therefore, I'll get the one here. Either one is the same chances, so let's do this one. 180. Okay, that's a really good one. Having any of the first 3 ones here is drastically increases your chances of winning. Ah. Yeah, so I know, like, very specifically mathematically that's probably not right, but, as a general rule of thumb, I think probability favors that strategy. It's kind of like in blackjack, you like counting cards in your head. I can't remember what the specific numbers are, but you add the more positive a number is, the more likely, the more negative a number is, right? The more likely you're to hit, because you know there's a heightened chance that the next hit will be okay. Let me quickly Google counting cards. I'm pretty sure that's the right logic. So yes, numbers below 7, you add 1, and numbers above 10 and 10. So 6 and below, you add 1. 10 or above, you subtract 1, and bet the true count minus 1 betting unit. Okay. So a true count in card counting is counting the cards and then dividing them about the amount of decks. How would you know the amount of decks something has? That is a questionable thing. Counting the amount of dicks it has, am I right, guys? But yes, trying to kind of do the same thing with the mini cacti. Except instead of having... Holy shit, now I gotta... So there's up to 10 cards, then there's Jack, King, and Queen, so 13 cards, right? So 13 times 4, we get... 13 times 4. Why can't I calculate that in my head? 40 plus 12. 52 cards. If there's 52 cards, one deck, and usually in blackjack we use multiple decks, let's say 3. 52 times 3 is 156 cards. Yeah, instead of like 156 cards, or how many decks there are, there's only 9 different possibilities. And we get to kind of use that to advantage by considering... I gotta actually check. How would I do the math there? Like statistically? Because sure, the average method kind of like works, but... It's the average... But... No, you have always the equal chance to run any number if there's no numbers visible. But... Yeah, obviously. I'm just thinking in my head a little too hard here. Obviously you have the same chance to roll any number that's not shown yet. Because there's gonna be only one in every single square. But the average number of available square, the average value of an available square changes based on the already shown ones. Yes. Therefore, you should consider thinking about the average score. Average value. I'm not smart. I don't get this shit. Hey, it's not Satoshi. I'm grateful. Say hello to. I have a full party of animal girls. I was about to say Mikotes, but apparently our tank is a Yeru. Very cute indeed. Although I will also be weird, they have surprising sexual clothing. What's up with them? Is it like a call to Playboy or some bullshit? I'm waiting for the tank to stop pulling so I get to do a... Like, why did you have to do that? Why are you pulling to the wall? Please, stop. No, I need to. I want to. Because I have a move there, which I can maximize my AoE damage. But since it's in a cone, I quite want the enemies to be in place while I do it. And that's using my reassemble to get the critical damage from that. Also, don't get me wrong, I'm not flaming our tank. I obviously, first of all, they wouldn't know what my strategy is. Second of all, that's a pretty default thing to do normally anyway. Do I hit them on time? Yes, I do. I'm pretty sure in Satasha I don't even have a clean shot. Ready? I find it funny that PlayStation players, or the console players, when they open the loot menu, they have to stop because then the menu opens. Or at least I think they do. Not to have like a menu button. So, but I do know the fact that it's really hard for them to do stuff and control the menu at the same time. At least I will imagine. Or anyone flames, but why are you watching with the loot? It's a 1,000 miles mark. What does it matter? Like seals, that's what it matters. on seals. Every small bit helps, after all. That's probably what my audience sounds like in my head. Gotta say, not having Wiki here makes me kind of worried that I might miss some clippable moments because I don't think about it. I don't tend to think about stuff like that. Oh, this is funny. I should remember this part. I remember I used to stream, and what I did before was just watch the entire VOD. That was not sustainable. I did that once, not too many times. Just once. You know, as much as I preach the fact that you shouldn't really worry too much about viewership, because at the end of the day, it's kind of random. There's just, even if you make the world's most funniest fucking content, most inspirational, most beautiful stuff, like the stuff that will make even Mr. Mustache Man see peace as an alternative option to whatever the fuck he was doing, the fact is, there is a very real chance that you just randomly won't get that viewership. There are many great streamers and YouTubers and content creators on all platforms who don't really get any recognition at all. One of those is, my opinion, my honest opinion, is the band called Bicycle. Just, not everybody gets their chance to spotlight, that's just the truth. And if you can't handle the fact that you may not have an audience, and you don't, that's why you don't want to do something, I think it's kind of a thing that you have to question, then do you even enjoy doing it? Like I said before in the stream, I think you not this stream, but other stream, I think you have to like being bad at something to like it at all. How many people do you know that like to say, oh, I wish I knew how to draw? Then how many people do you know who say that actively keep drawing, even though they might suck? And then you realize that, yeah, a lot of people just want to be good stuff, not really do it. Me personally, I like drawing. Not that much though. I draw shitty art. I have my little own distinct style, I would like to say. I think it's fun. I don't really care about being good at it though. And like before, I don't think the fact that, you know, and I don't say that in the idea that, you know, you shouldn't be strive to be good at anything. That's stupid. Of course you should strive to be good at stuff. The point more being that if you don't like to do it, why the fuck do you even want to be good at it then, right? Like, think about it like this way. Do you think Kobe Bryant, the guy who has this amazing mental when it comes to training, really will give it that much of a shit about basketball if he just hated the sport? Even though he was good, do you think he will still train so hard if he disliked the fucking sport? I don't think so. Like, then again, those people are kind of mental freaks. Not like a freak in a bad way, a freak in a good way. There is something very beautiful that people have that much discipline. A fun Kobe Bryant story is that he once, for his wife, he learned how to play Moonlight Sonata on the piano. But instead of like a normal person going to normal person going to music school or, you know, looking at YouTube tutorials, instead he just, without practice, by the way, played it by ear. And he's not like an amazing pianist. I mean, he's decent. Obviously, he might be pretty good if he can play Moonlight Sonata. But point being that he wasn't good at the piano when he started, right? In fact, probably wasn't good at all. Period. And the fact that he had so much discipline to the point where, you know, you can do the most mind-numberingly boring thing, which is ding, ding, no, ding, no. Let's listen to it again. Ding, ding. Ah, there we go. Does that, but like for every single goddamn note, is insane to me. Also, I should have done an RPG block jump. Just too busy yapping about Black Mamba. I just don't like the fact that he hated his teammates. I mean, he didn't hate them, but, you know, he didn't pass. I don't like really selfish people like that. There is a saying. Let's see. There is a difference between wanting to win and wanting to be the only one winning. I don't know. I truly do believe that he wasn't selfish in that idea that he was like, I need personal glory, but instead in the idea that he doesn't just trust anybody else to win the game. Because when he trusted people, he did pass to them, right? His own quote was like, I only pass to players that I know can that are better than me, or it's either that are better than me or that I know that can score a bucket or something like that. Which I guess. But, there are certain limitations with that line of thinking, though. One would imagine. Then again, show me who was the multi-millionaire fucking basketball player, hardly regarded as one of the greatest that I ever played, and who is a guy who is streaming Final Fantasy XIV to an audience of 0 people right now. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. I'm a Raptors fan anyway. We had Kawhi Leonard, who won us the fucking trophy, and then he left. Then we had Kyle, big booty, give me that booty, bubble booty. Fucking love that meme so much. I hope Larry himself can find the what's the word? The fun in the. Wouldn't be that as funny anymore if, you know, that guy was like, oh, that's fucking creepy as fuck. Personally, I wouldn't mind that. You know, everybody has their own opinions and stuff. You know, I can't always imagine that everybody thinks the same way. Although there does lie a conflict in my line of thinking, which is there is I think a very universal thought is you should only do to others as you would want to do unto yourself, and i.e. you should do to others what you think you shouldn't do. I.e. I think that most thought in that is that the primary thought is that you shouldn't do stuff to people if you feel like that stuff will make them feel a certain way. And to know what the certain way is, you should draw from your own conclusions of how that will make you feel. That's a very complicated way to put that. Fucking hell. But, what about people like me? You know? I don't want to say that I'm all that different than your average person, but I mean, after all, I do sympathize with people and find very similarities in a lot of people, but I mean, to a certain degree, I'm different, right? Everybody is. So, at what points do you, like... And this isn't a, like, oh, that's why this idea is bullshit type thing. This is more like, what is actually the, what is the edge of that line of thinking? You know? Of course, the obvious answer, and the answer to literally anything in this goddamn world is depends. But, what is actually the... What is the middle way? At what point do you stop thinking as in, this is how would I feel, and instead think, I will draw my conclusion to this person's feelings based on something else. how this will feel based on something else. It's not like really fair to always think that way. I fall into that line of logic a little too much, where my basis of how I should treat people and how I treat people and how I feel like they'll feel is very much drawn upon my own experiences. But then again, not everybody has the same end goal. One thing I found out a lot, one thing I found really frustrating when talking about politics is the fact that not everybody cares how other people feel. We don't even have the same end goal. So, I have this friend, which, if you are listening to this, I still do love you. It's not like I find you like a horrible person or whatever. But his end goal, end all be all in, you know, when it comes to politics, when it comes to voting, isn't to make a universally good country or a universally good system. It is rather to maximize opportunities of self. And in a sense, it isn't a completely selfish thought process, because the idea is also that he doesn't vote in the idea that he will be unfairly treated highly, but person such as himself might, because I do think a lot of rightist ideology comes from the idea that everybody's equal. Like that everybody has the exact same starting point. Which is a flawed thought process, in my opinion. That everybody else can do something that just you can't do, right? Which is actually, now I think about it, kind of weird, because then again, a lot of rightist cultural thought is conservatism and like stuff like, you know, having trans people and... Anyway, at least to a certain degree, the idea, at least behind capitalism, is anybody could make it if they just tried hard enough and got to job hard enough, whatever. And we know in essence that's not true. You know, there's a fun thing in Victorian England where people actually thought people were poor because God didn't choose them. It was divine intervention or whatever, right? And there were many thought processes of this, of like, what the fuck are we gonna do with all these poor people? And what they did was make workhouses. And the idea was that and this one also thing that I most surely hate about rightist ideology is the idea of a welfare bum. And that's this thought that if given the chance, most people, or a lot of people, would rather sit on their ass and do nothing rather than get a job if they could live in general comfort. As far as that is true, is the question. I'm pretty sure almost anybody in this world would rather sit on their ass and earn millions a day than fucking do free labor or almost free labor. But it doesn't mean that giving the chance for welfare in any sense is a bad idea. And the funniest thing about this whole thought process, a lot of people who think this way hate the people who take that, right? They think it's a selfish thing to accept it, right? Like, that they're getting some privilege that they're not affording. Because they, quote-unquote, do the right thing instead. But they're not angry at the system that placed it in the feet of them. Like, for example, there's this idea, which some sort, how true it is, I can't really say because I'm not like well versed. But the idea is that refugees coming to Finland earn way too much money, and a lot of people get angry at refugees for that. I'm pretty sure it's not the fucking refugees that are paying themselves. I'm pretty sure it's our fucking government doing that shit. Also, I forgot to. I started fucking talking politics. I forgot to go to a dungeons. This one is a well played. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that thought logic is fucking pretty dumb, in my opinion. But yeah, to return to my main point, talking about politics, talking about almost anything, it sucks because not everybody has the same end goal after all. How are you supposed to have a decent political discussion with somebody if the idea isn't, the end all be all isn't the same? The reason why, I remember there's this video of Neil deGrasse Tyson being like, why can't political debates be like scientific debates? In scientific debates, we were like, oh, this is like this, and the other was like, no, it's not like this because this, that's true, or I don't think we have enough evidence, or something like that. In political thoughts, it much more feels like not everybody has the fucking same end goal, and obviously not everybody has the same goal, and not everybody has the same priorities. For example, yeah, and it is a really hard thing to start thinking about at that point. I always thought, for a long time, I thought everybody had this mind of everybody matters, and everybody matters in a certain degree, and if you have the chance, you should be able to. What the fuck? Huh? Why is the owner Gold Saucer? Is there a guy named Gold Saucer here? What? Huh? Is this a world pet? Okay, anyway. I thought everybody had the same be-all, A-all, be-all of everybody should be able to live comfortably. But no. Obviously not. Some people have different things. And I'm not saying that, like, my level of thought process is the right one. No, there are very compelling cases why my priorities aren't, you know, the best either. Or, like, why my priorities wouldn't really necessarily be the best choice or whatever. But once again, they are my priorities, and I tend to think differently than other people. Obviously, most people think about when they make their thing, like when they think about their priorities, they tend to think in kind of a way that they will put their own shoes, themselves in other people's shoes, and therefore they tend to value things that trouble them, or things that they see in media a lot, much higher than what quote-unquote would actually be the truth. And I am no exception. I really do think that welfare is a decent system, and I don't think we should get rid of it. I don't think we should necessarily start thinking of an alternative solution. I think we should just modernize it. And most importantly, I think it shouldn't be that I get so fucking little goddamn money and no disability pay because I don't have a college degree. What kind of fucking logic is that? Oh, suddenly my goddamn fucking mental problems aren't as bad as another person's because I don't have a fucking secondary school education. That's bullshit. What the fuck are you talking about? I need that help. I can't get psychotherapy because I don't have a fucking college degree. Isn't that bullshit? What kind of fucking logic is that? Oh, you can't go to work because you're mentally not able to. You know what? Instead of giving you the tools to probably go succeed, I will instead rid them of you and make you go through a harder process because I feel like you're inferior. I get the logic. It's the idea of, once again, trying to make the idea of being a welfare bum as least appealing as possible. But go back to Victorian England, they had workhouses. What was the idea of a workhouse? Workhouse idea was to give welfare and money to people who necessarily, but the idea was to give money to people, but make it uncomfortable so people wouldn't, quote, like, rely on it. I do think welfare should always, almost always, most cases at least, should be a less comfortable way of living than getting a job. That one's obvious. I don't think, I don't think that's gonna be at all healthy for our economy if, you get like fucking amazing pay from, just sitting on your ass. And obviously that wouldn't pay itself back, but I just hate the thought of welfare bums. Don't get me wrong, there are documented cases of people who claim, at least, that they enjoy this level of living more than they will enjoy trying to get a higher standard. It's a worrying thought, but then there's the counter argument to that one is the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, right? You wouldn't fucking stop giving people morphine because some people try to get addicted to it and try to pretend to be sick just to get more of it, right? You wouldn't fucking stop selling alcohol because there's alcoholics. So why the fuck is welfare any different? I mean, there is the idea of that's my tax money. I think that's the end all be all of that. One thing I also notice a lot in this country is people get really I mean, it's fair. You have all this news saying how bad everything is here. All this fucking TikTok bullshit saying, oh, this is horrible because this... There are bad things in this country. But I think people get so goddamn disillusioned that they think moving to somewhere like the US will give them a better chance of life. There definitely are cases where probably that's true, but... Like, for example, my sister, who was thinking about moving back to the US, moving to the US, I wonder what the fuck the logic there is. Like, she isn't going to the US in the idea of getting higher economical status, which could be somewhat of a decent reason to go to move to the US. She's going there because she thinks it will be more comfortable living for her family. Which... I'm not saying that my sister's dumb. In fact, I think she's smarter than me. That decision is weird, and I just don't get it. I'm sure she has her reasons to believe that, though. Oh, yeah. As you can probably notice, I am not a big fan of the US. I do love the people from the United States, don't get me wrong. Whenever I complain about a country's state, it never means that, oh, I find the people disgusting. I fucking hate the Russian government. I'm half Russian myself. I don't hate myself. I don't hate any other Russian guy. I might hate the people who are extreme fans of that fucking state, but that doesn't mean everybody in that state, everybody in that thing should get the wrath. That's just racism. Yeah. But I think the US government sucks, and I don't think that's extremely controversial to take. Or even less controversial take, I feel like we have things in a state, in the thoughts of comfort of living, and relative safety, and education is much better than in the US. I think that's much, much less of a controversial take. Sure, we don't have Harvard, but then again, I don't have to pay for it, so I'm fucking fine. If I ever get to that fucking level of schooling, which I probably won't. And you know, I really did tend to think that everything was made in the idea of bettering everybody. Because a really good example of something that works in idea but doesn't necessarily always work in principle is, and this sounds weird, but please, to the end, listen to this to the end, there are equality laws in Finland when it comes to job applications. Idea is anybody without the regard to everybody should only be judged by their ability to work and not by anything else, by like gender or disabilities that don't matter. Good idea, great idea, fantastic idea. I love that. But it also means that you have to always, because you can't have any sort of, you can't judge personality, for example. You can't judge height, weight. You can't judge anything like that. You always have to take someone that's most qualified, and there is a sort of a legal idea of what is the most qualified, and that will be the person with the highest education. Coming from a country that has a coming from a country that has... Okay, I gotta quickly check. I believe this percentage is around 80 to 70. Yeah, coming from a country... Let's see here. Coming from a country that has a... Oh, why can't I find a decent fucking percentage here? Okay, this is decent. In 2017, 38% of people had a second degree education or higher. Sorry, not second degree education. This does not count the people who are higher or lower. When 30% of people have second education, when over 25% have a university or education, so on and so forth, how am I supposed to get any fucking job? Around 70 to 80% of people have a degree higher than mine, which mine is just basic school. If you can't judge me based on my character, you may judge me based on my work history, although there is a legal questionable area where you can say, hey, that's not fair. Sure, he has more work history, but I actually have the papers to be here. So that may be questionable, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't had any paid work in my fucking life. I've done lots of goddamn free labor, which I can't really even advertise. Coming from like that, you tend to wonder, how the fuck am I supposed to get any job in this economy without getting a schooling degree? And as I was saying, equality laws in paper, absolutely fantastic idea. I feel like they just need a little tweaking though. So that's a fucking stupid thing. And personally for me, it's hurt me a lot. If I have no... Okay, so the fact is, I have no idea how many people actually struggle with this. It's not well known. But I believe, at least, that there are more people in this world that are... No, actually, I don't think that, actually. I don't know. I just say, no, personally, it hurts me. I was about to say, I feel like there are more people in this country that lose by it than win by it, but that's not true at all, is it? Does that mean that we couldn't tweak it a bit to make it work for more people? No. Is that necessarily the most important thing? Probably not. But yeah, the whole fucking rant aside, my thought process was that that's why I got like this thought process of that country and its system and its laws and its voting and its anything is based on the general welfare of people, but it's not always necessarily true. To be fair, I should have, obviously I didn't think that every country has the same thing, but I thought democracy might. No. I will say I have not been shown a better system than democracy. I'm not saying democracy has a problem. Obviously, democracy has a lot of problems. But I will say the fact is that I don't think there is a morally better choice. Because there's always like these fucking monarchist sympathizers and shit. They're like, oh yeah, but what if the people are stupid and they don't know who to vote for? And then the answer is, what if the fucking person in government, like let's say the king or queen, is a fucking dumbass? And but what if they're not? So what if the people are not doomed? I think that there's a statistically higher chance that the fucking majority of people have a decently higher understanding of what everybody needs, or what people need, rather than, you know, one person at the head who has probably not seen fucking hard work ever in his life. Or their life, or her life. Although most monarchists are men. Anyway. But, so, that is a decent question, especially when it comes to politics nowadays. People are so easily influenced. So, how, influenced by bullshit, I mean. How do we, as like a society, try to battle shit like fake news and stuff like that to make sure our democracy works in a way that almost everybody can have a decent shot loving. Oh god, that is hard. Okay, to be fair, our tank could be a bit of a better job at, you know, making sure AoEs point to the wall and not to us, but I don't know. Hey. Try not get the. I don't have a potion slot. Oh, I don't have a potion. Oh, okay. I'm trying to get this goddamn constant tension. Notice me! Damn it! How the hell did our fucking healer have a higher... How the hell did our healer have a higher fucking... What's the word? How the hell did our healer have a higher... I can't fucking speak. How the hell did our healer have a higher fucking... What's the word for that? Not tolerance. Fucking... Tenacity? Enmity! Than me, when I did so much damage to this goddamn tank. I don't know if it's... Yeah, no. Trying to help teach this tank player about dodging release. I know how much sway I have talking stuff like this, but I said that hey, if you were talking about like AoE attacks, then the moment that move gets off, it can't hurt. The moment the move gets off, it can't hurt you if you return back to the location AoE. Like that, like exactly that what I was talking about. Good job from him there. Which I'm like saying, hey, to make sure a party doesn't get touched by AoEs, once they hit an AoE like this and the bar goes off, then you quickly run back to the area where the AoE went to. Depends on the move. There are moves that, of course, don't do that, but at least for this boss. That doesn't matter. In most general cases, in my experience. After all, sometimes learning this game is like learning English. Half the fucking rules don't make sense. I mean, sorry, not half the rules, but half the time the rules get bent. That's what I'm saying. There are some AoEs that do lingering damage and stay for a long time. There are some moves that have somewhat weird delay. I don't really like those things, though. This tank, damn, will almost die. Okay, so that's a single target. Oh. Yeah. For new viewers, I know I said Palace of the Dead and job quests. Technically, this is for job quests, so I didn't lie, but I found job quests for Machinists so intriguing that I kind of want to power level this now to get to the next one. Also, I was yapping a lot about politics, so if that's not exactly your cup of tea again, I'm sorry about that. Can't do much about that. Goddamn my stream, I get to do whatever the fuck I want. Well, that doesn't break TOS, I guess. Or general rules of being a nice person. Speaking of which, why the fuck isn't... Like, how the hell does the... You guys... I don't know if y'all heard of fucking Johnny Somali. How the hell does he keep finding a fucking place to stream? I don't think it's legal. Well, what he does is extremely illegal, obviously. How the hell does he keep finding fucking, like, places to stream? I don't get that. You would imagine he would get, like, IP banned fucking everywhere. Does he just constantly get, like, new goddamn... new, devices to stream from? What's up with that? That guy fucking sucks, by the way. Real asshole. I don't think it's controversial. Peter. I think that's it. Hoppa. Hey, maybe you shouldn't have asked that during the raid. During the fights. I mean, we'll tend to want to answer immediately. Ой, блядь. Wait, anybody who... The person who has just sent a message. I apologize, but I will read it really shortly. There we go. Okay, where the hell is this my streaming place? Yeah, Stone Vigil, I fucking love Stone Vigil, yeah. Why the fuck? These bums, I swear. Ah, we're too good for Vigil cuffs. Fuck you. I'm never too good for Vigil cuffs, although I accidentally pressed pass. Oh, they used Swift Cast or something there. Yeah, our healer seems to be pretty new. Pretty new. Ёба народ, what a pull! Yeah, we're fucking dead, aren't we? Yeah, we dead. We dead, king. They are apologize, like both the tank and the healer are apologizing in chat go constantly. to a certain extent, I understand that. You know, you feel uncomfortable. I do that a lot, where if I fuck up as a healer, but honestly, at some point, shut the fuck up, please. Like, I understand you feel bad that you're fucking up and you wanna apologize, but at some point you're doing that. Like right now, they're doing like, I don't apologize, it's my fault, that's fine. You're wasting time! Come on. Do it after it. Like I tend to be like, if someone apologizes, I'm like, one time, hey, it's okay, that's fine, mistakes happen. And if they keep doing that shit, then I'm like, I don't want to fucking respond anymore. It's like, fuck off. It's different. Obviously, it's different. Obviously, it's different. Right, like right now, this guy's like, "Oh, these sprites are actually pretty hard in early game because of like low entry." That's fine. Dude, if you say something like that, which is informative and helpful, yeah, I don't care. Like, either A, we're progressing the goddamn thing, or B, someone's getting like, we're progressing someone else's like playthrough or whatever. That's fine. But like meaningless bullshit, like constantly apologizing is kind of tilting. I think that just comes from my own experience of. I think that just comes from my own experience of being a. I used to be like really so do a lot of self-pity. So it kind of feels that way, where like it really feels that way that some people just don't want to play anymore because they fucked up once when they like constantly type that shit. Because I don't care about, if you're bad, you're bad. Like, if you're bad, that's okay. It's a fucking video game. Who cares? But, like, I do care if you come into this instance, right? You come into a game, and your priority isn't to fucking play it. Then you're just fucking wasting my time, right? It's kind of like the same idea I have with some people being like, oh, when I play competitive games, like, I don't take it seriously. I understand that, you know, you don't have to take everything super seriously. But then people like, oh, if I want to troll, I'll still play fucking competitive. If there is a different fucking game mode for that shit, why the fuck don't you just play that different game mode at that point? Now you're actively coming into a place with an which is very clearly made for seriousness and a serious fucking gameplay experience. And instead of you know, trying to do the agreed, pretty universally agreed about stuff, which is like try. Instead, you're just fucking around and just automatically losing for the people who actually want to try, right? And I feel like that might be a somewhat controversial thing. I don't think that you don't necessarily have to try hard in competitive, right? In competitive gaming, obviously, like, you don't have to fucking sweat your ass off or whatever, because if you never take the game seriously, right, then at some point you're just gonna get pushed into a rank where your unserious gameplay is as good as someone's serious gameplay, or the worst rank in that point could also be happening, whatever. But you know, I do dislike people who fucking waste people's time. That's not a nice thing to do, right? To be fair, when I play with my friends, we too tend to chat a lot while playing. And my other friend was like, don't you feel bad that we're wasting the tank's time? Like, it's not like we're necessarily wasting the tank's time. We didn't, like, fucking feed. We accidentally died once, that's true. But, we didn't feed. And the reason why we died wasn't because we were chatting, right? So, at that point, you might be like, I don't really care. I feel like the tank's more pissed at the fact that we're talking and, like, quote-unquote not respecting his time, versus, like... Did I accidentally commend it tank? I was supposed to commend it to healer, because the healer was learning. Oops. Yeah, I don't... In my personal experience, if I go... Well, to be fair, now it's kind of like, okay, it's my shoes, so I think. But if I fucking play a dungeon, which has happened, which I've played with like a group of Lalafels that are drunk and all trying to kill each other, I didn't really care. That was mainly because they say like, hey, is that okay? And I was like, yeah. But if, for example, I play with other people and they're a bit slower and because they're having a good time and talking, that's fine. Who cares? But then there's versus of fucking apologizing 5 fucking quadrillion times. It's... Don't get me wrong, it's not like a fucking, if you do that shit, I hate you and I think you should die or something, but I feel like you should, like, really think, man, is this more productive or counterproductive? And also that, also asking for help when it comes to like, I don't understand this mechanic, or why the fuck does this happen to me, I don't care. Like, if you want to type that, then yeah, sure. That's fine. I don't care. Actually, I do care. I really do like that fact that you want to, get better and, instead of being like trying to pretend that you know this stuff or whatever, you instead are taking the necessary steps to continue. And even if it isn't something like extremely necessary for the raid or dungeon or whatever, if you ask for help for something, I feel like it's okay to do that. You don't have to worry about, like, at least on a personal level, wasting my time for, trying to learn the game. Wow, I did that first try. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I understand some opinions might be a little mixed there. It's kind of like, I feel like there's like 2 edges to that whole idea of wasting time, because there definitely are people who think that if you don't play optimally, like my friend, good friend Kara told me about one time when she was playing healer and she didn't have a dot on all the time. I think she was playing astrology and she didn't have a dot on at all times. Someone started fucking yelling at them. What the fuck is wrong with you at that point? There's also a difference between, hey, I noticed your dot wasn't on, and being like, I noticed your dot wasn't on. Did you know? And saying like, did you know you have to put a dot, or like, I think you forgot your dot, and being like, you're a fucking piece of shit for not leaving your dot on, or you're wasting minutes, and yeah, obviously. And then the other edge being like, I don't fucking care if I ever complete this dungeon anyway. And of course, that idea of you can't waste time in a dungeon if you're fucking pre-made completely. Who gives a shit? Fucking dick around, do 70 goddamn spins in the first starting route in pause a day. Why am I to say anything? But yeah, I tend to think that constantly apologizing is gonna gets me pissed. That isn't counterproductive. Maybe if Final Fantasy XIV, which I hope doesn't happen, by the way, had voice chat, and you said voice chat quickly. Sorry, I don't care. But it's just the fact that you have to type the whole fucking explanation. It's, come on, let's just go. Greetings, Arger. Your training proceeds at pace, I trust. Stay a while and we can discuss strategy returning. Oh god. Oh no! It will appear everyone is present, even our dear instructor. So let's delve into particulars of the upcoming contest. Now, the degrees of favor the Holy See bestows is much influenced by the outcome of the tourney, and thus the nobles enter only their most capable champions. I assume that Tidal Grinche in his small-minded maliciousness seeks to humiliate us before the adjudicator. How these words don't make sense to me. Adjudicators. Adjudicators. Adjudicator. Adjudicator, a person who adjudicates. Oh, go fuck yourself. Adjudication. The action or process of adjudicate. Adjudicating. God fucking damn it. Adjudicating. Make a formal judgment or dispute a matter. Thank you. I assume that Diddle Cash in his small-minded maliciousness seeks to humiliate us before the adjudicators, and thereby convince the Holy See to cease the flow of funds to the manufacturing. Understand me, Lordship. Most Ishgardians ain't hardly aware that machines exist. Why are we so grabbed Lord Tidal Greenshay's attention? Ah, here we go. That's because it's likely noticed that your firearm kill man with not but your dainty little finger on the trigger. This is the same reason there's laws in Limsa what prevent any Odragon person from carrying a musket. And Ishgardian's hierarchy ain't exactly fair and measured now, is it? If you arm the lowest folk on the ladder with weapons like ours, then you can be sure as the tide their barrels stop soon be pointed towards them overprivileged bastards what stand on top. Holy shit. But as you say, most nobles don't seem to understand what a threat an army of machines could pose. This little Grinch block is a step ahead, I'll give him that much. That is actually a fair assumption. He's a discoverable fellow, but also an uncommonly clever. Even so, he has failed to arrive at the most obvious conclusion: a well-trained and well-armed populace will strengthen Ishgard's defenses fourfold. And if we are to consider the Holy See of the fact, then we must claim it to clear eternity. You got some special mind. I have been considering several strategies, but to practice them here in plain view for our will void of their effectiveness, we must needs look further afield for a suitable location to turn. Watch here in Eastern Oskiat to trick, I'll secure as a place where I can shoot. Oh yeah, it's content. Joy, pray make preparation for the journey after you've attended to your duties at the manor, of course. As for you, Orger, I would like to have you test another of my inventions, remain behind, and I shall make some adjustments to your Ace Transformator. There's as much many use of given Sieg alone. Fuck you! Now you heard me boast to my father machines companies could soon for backward. That was something in the generation. When it comes to gigantic Jenkins eye, one may as well be firing at the side of a Barbican in tourney. However, the lesser size of our opponents will work against us. It requires you constantly track and score hits against targets that are both small and agile. And thus there is but little time left before the contest, or victory will depend largely upon your skill contribution. If Joy, I think it's just Joy, is able to displace even a fraction of your battle savvy, then the reputation of machines will flourish. Thus I need you to attend or practice with undivided focus and provide a shining example to which she might inspire. A lot of sense. Once Joy has completed her task at the manor, we can be off to Bloodshore. I wonder what's could we keep a trip to the market to restock the larder or some such? I wonder where I should go. FFXIV. Must be eager to getting some practice for the big contest. I'll be shopping to the manor. If I'm continuing me machinist training, I can be shrinking on the other chores I made a promise to the count. But I won't keep you waiting much longer. I'll run to the manor with what I've got and come back with this big sack afterwards. This is an actual decent. I want to help Joy in secret. I thought that was about Arthur. Shouldn't take too long. Yeah. Don't want me other sack. There you go. I'll let have your joy area. Very good. This was the last of her tasks for the day, so she's fierce as Stephanie in work. Pray return to your preparations. Thank you, Arger. I appreciate you helping me, of course, but I appreciate you helping his lordship even more. Again, was against becoming a machinist. He knew that me and Dad's able to work, though. It's kind enough to let me keep place in his matter staff. Be family to be on the street if it weren't for this job, and I can't thank him enough. Sometimes it doesn't feel right that I repay him by spending half my time at the manufacturer. But may now that you are around for Stephanie and his lordship won't need me to be a machinist no more. I never thought of it that way. Well, we shall be getting to ourselves to the butcher. I gotta say, one of the gripes I have with this game is that your choices really don't fucking matter. It is different to have no choices, and different to present choices and pretend that they matter when they really don't matter. And this game does the first thing, which second thing would piss me off. I can't give specific examples, but there is this, because of spoilers, but there is this one scene where you will imagine that your choice at that matter would have a huge repercussion of what's gonna happen next. No! It's like the most unimaginable bullshit happens and oh, suddenly, you know, you get fucked. Whatever. The box should be open with no defeat. Let's see what strategy can do us for Ayag. Save third shot here. Set up your turret, pick up an office space again. I really need my turret. Well, thanks anyway. We beat this too. I do like this heat blast. The idea of having to choose between getting like a tougher move or recharging a overall AoE without. I think it's a nice bit of depth for machinist. I'm sure the other characters have some sort of depth too. I mean, other characters have that same type of depth. I gotta say, one of the things I really find weird about Astrologian is that you have two different heal spells, right? You have fuck if I can remember the fucking spells names. Anyway, it's 1 and 2, and I think it's Malefic. But after you get Malefic 2. There is literally no point in ever using Malefic 1. Even though, and it will be fine, you know, if that's the intention. But clearly it's not, and there's two reasons why I say this. Number one is that there is a not secret, but a passive trait, which every time you use Medica 1, there is a chance that Medica 2 will be free to use. Therefore, I think the thought is, like, you have to be in your head, like, do I want to use a more expensive healing? Do I want to buy a... Okay. Do I want to do something less effective overall, which has the chance to be more effective? Or do I want to use something... And I want to do less effective something, so it's more effective overall, or do I want to do more effective thing that costs more and is less, like, overall effective? And, it's a fine idea, but the thing is, it's tuned way too shit to the point where it doesn't really even matter, and I don't think they care. And second reason why I think they was intentional is because there are other moves in this game, like Stone, for example, for White Mage, which doesn't have like different. You can't like use Stone 1 if you have Stone 4 unless you're in a dungeon which uses Stone. Actually, can you? I think it's just auto upgrades though. Mutual. Seeing how well Argo is coming on, maybe you don't need me in turn no more. Whatever will make you think that, my dear. I need you now more than ever. Ooh, the side of you, a commoner with sans battle experience, sending a season. I that's my fucking skull. Stumbling and crawling with open the eyes of the holy sea. Why? You shall be let the pierces their tradition-bound hearts. Very well, my lordship. I'll do my best in the name of House Haliarnter. For both you and the camp. That's spirit. Now I must return to the workshop. It's never House Smith, for fuck's sakes. It's always like fucking House fucking Shubbity Boobity. God damn it. Don't they understand that my stupid brain can't do such pronunciations? Also, holy shit, we're dipping. FPS. Okay. How long am I streaming for? 3 hours, Jesus fuck. I haven't noticed. But yeah. I think I was saying something, but I forgot. Brain? I think Brain was onto something. Brain forgot. I don't really want to spam dungeons anymore. Into the Palace of the Dead, though. Don't want to do Palace of the Dead. You know, there's also a big reason why I don't like a lot of competitive version game modes in games is because time investment is much bigger for competitive game modes usually. For example, in Overwatch League, League of Legends does actually have a higher time in competitive game mode, unless we count Clash. But Overwatch, for example, your average competitive game is, if let's say it's an attack-based map, right? Attack-defense map. Attack-defense. If it's somehow attack and defense, and you have to do both, right? And if it's a tie, you have to do a tiebreaker. In hybrid maps. Are there tiebreakers in normal? I don't think there are. Yeah. And then on the contrary, yeah, and then like free CP maps and shit like that, and then you have to have tiebreakers. And it takes a long time, and for example in quick play you just do one push or one defense. And yeah, I get it, you know, obviously I'm not saying that, oh, you should randomly get a chance to do both defense or offense. I think the system is fine. It's just my personal distaste for having to guarantee my time to do something. I tend to be very emotional when I play games, so I tend to like the comfortability that I can just turn the game off whenever I want and don't have to deal with it. But with competitive games, you kind of just are either you gotta make like a choice. Either A, you leave midway, and not only are you like a dick to your people who are playing with, because you know there's the expectation of you having to be competitive. Also, they have obviously they have some sort of punishing there. Not the big fan of competitive games because of that. Competitive modes and competitive games. Yeah, and also the competitive aspect brings out the fucking worst in me. Very easily. It's 2:22 server time. Yeah, that's why I don't really want to do Palace of Death, because I feel like the fucking time investment is gonna be too big. Oh. Yeah, but things be done. Really want to play. Yeah. Yeah. apologies for the kind of a energetic end. Let's say it like that. The stream. My name is Harker Sentry, and I am gonna stop the stream here. Gone.